Okay.
Good morning, Trackers. I didn't say good morning to you. I said good morning to everyone else. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about glazing. And glazing is basically just laying down layer after layer of washes or brush strokes. Okay, so that's how, remember how I was telling you in the beginning that with watercolor, we work from light to dark, whereas in all the other paints, from dark to light. So this way we're working backward, and this is how we get to those darker tones, is by layering the watercolors, because every layer is going to get a little darker.
Okay.
Am I my voice all crazy for you guys? Is there an echo?
Let me mute the others. And see if that helps. Okay. Kiddos, I'm gonna mute you. So use the chat feature or just like wave at us if you have a question, okay? And I'll unmute you and let's see if we can get rid of that echo.
All right.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna mute. Okay, just see if that's any better.
Okay. Yeah, you sound better too already. Okay. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, because sometimes that echo is kind of hard to hear. So when we layer glazes, we can create this really beautiful effect with watercolors where you can still see the underlying glaze and brush strokes. And so it's really wonderful because you get a lot of depth in watercolor. And usually we let one wash dry completely before adding another one on top of it. And so sometimes in watercolor, you have to be really patient, or you have to work on multiple pieces at the same time. Okay, so let's get started. So for today, since we are working with glazes, we're going to be doing two things at the same time. So one can dry while we're working on the other one. Okay, so maybe just tear one of your papers out. And you can use any paintbrush that you would like.
I'm gonna interrupt really quick.
Yeah.
I think all of you kiddos can also unmute yourself. So if you have a question, why don't you just unmute yourself and ask the question? Okay? Does that work? Give me a thumbs up if you guys can do that for us. Awesome. Okay, cool.
Okay, I would say maybe the flat brush would be the best because we're going to be drawing some squares. And because the flat brush is already square, it will help us get those square edges. Okay, and then you're going to need your water. And you're going to need a pencil. Just a regular drawing pencil. And I'm going to be drawing in a pencil that's a lot darker so that you can see what I'm doing. But you can draw your pencil lines really lightly if you want. Okay, so first, does everyone have all their materials ready to go? We good? Awesome. Okay, so we're going to draw a large square or rectangle around our whole paper, just like that. That doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and then we're going to draw another square inside. Sorry, I have an almond stuck in my throat. That's just a little smaller. Okay, we want a good amount in between those sizes, so don't make them too close, too similar, because we want to see the difference. Okay, we're going to do that again. Leave about like an inch or so. All right. And then we're going to do it one more time. If you can fit one little square in the middle, do it one more time. So it should look like that. Okay. I'm going to erase my lines just a little bit so that it doesn't bleed into my watercolor. Okay, and then you're going to pick one color, whichever color you would like, your favorite color. And we're going to be working with that one color. So start putting lots of water in that color. I'm going to work with the blue color. I like blue. Okay, and do you guys remember how we did our washes? We're going to do a flat wash. So it's all going to be kind of one color, all the same value. It's not going to go from light to dark or dark to light. Okay, so you can lift up your paper so it's on an angle. And make sure you have lots of water on your paintbrush. And we're going to start painting that largest square. So we make one long brush stroke along the top. And because we angled our paper, there's like this bead of water at the bottom. Okay, and we're going to go back and get some more water and paint. And then do another line right below it, picking up that bead of water. And we're going to keep doing that all the way down until our whole square is filled in. And you can add more water to your paint if you need to. Just fill in that one big square all the way. I keep adding water to my paint and getting more paint and water every stroke or so. And I really don't go back over, I just do one direction. Okay, so you guys should have basically your whole paper covered in a watercolor wash. Okay, we're gonna set that aside to let it dry. You guys let me know when you're done. I love seeing your guys' nice long arm. You're using your whole arm to make that brush stroke. You guys are doing a great job. And let me know when you're ready to move on to the next. Okay, Michaela, you ready? Nora, are you about ready? Not almost. That's fine. I don't want you to feel rushed. My brush is probably a lot bigger than your brush. So it doesn't take as many brush strokes to fill it all in. You guys ready? Awesome. How about you, Madeline? You ready?
Crocker, you got a question?
No.
Okay. All right.
1 second. Crocker, I couldn't understand you.
So I don't have a question.
Oh, you don't have a question. Okay, just checking, just checking.
Okay, on our next piece of paper, we're going to make a dot kind of in the middle of our paper. Just a dot. And you can use another piece of paper if you'd like. I like using other pieces of paper to help me draw straight lines. So I'm going to lay that piece of paper to where it's laying across that dot. And it's kind of at an angle. It's not straight across. It's kind of angling back because we're going to create a perspective kind of square. So I'll show you what your line should look like. Kind of like that. You see kind of like an arm of a clock or something. Okay, you guys got that one? That line kind of angled back. And then we're going to draw another line angled back. So now it looks like 2 clock arms. And it doesn't have to be straight with the piece of paper. It's fine if it's not straight. We're just going to draw a cube. So I'm just going to walk you through step by step how to draw it. Okay, and then we're going to draw a line that's straight up and down in the middle. So now you have 3 lines. You guys got that? Okay, now I'm going to draw a line at the top of this middle line that I drew that is kind of at the same angle as this line. So it looks like that. And then I'm going to draw another line straight up and down like that. So do you guys see how we just drew a square that kind of looks like a rhombus? You guys know what a rhombus is? It's kind of like a square that's been skewed a little. Okay. We following? We're good, Nora? Are we good? Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to draw a line out like this. And now it looks like a book. Okay. Another line like that. Now it looks like a book. Okay. Now I'm going to draw a line going back that's parallel with this line, kind of the same angle as this line and this line. And mine's going off the page a little. But if you do yours further down, you should have a cube. So you should be able to see the top of your cube. Did everyone get to that part, or does anyone need any help? We good? Awesome, Madeline. That looks great. Michaela, you good? Perfect. You guys did so good. How about yours, Nora? How did yours turn out? Good? Awesome. Crockery, you got one? Perfect. Look at that. You guys are so good at this. I'm so proud of you. Okay. So now we're going to start painting our cube. So we can get our paintbrush and add some water to whatever color you want. Okay, we're going to paint everything on this except for this front side. You can pick whichever side you want to be left white. So we're going to leave that side white. I'm going to erase my lines just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to paint the whole paper. So you can glaze one side, just like that, up and down. Okay, and then you can glaze the top. Okay, so now the top and one side is filled in. And then you can fill in, you don't have to do the entire background. But you guys could do like something like this, where part of the background is filled in. So just leave one side white, paint the other two sides, and paint some of the background. Okay, and then we're gonna let that dry. So when you're done, you can set that one aside and you can get your other squares back out. Awesome, Madeline. if you want, you can keep going like that, or you can draw another one at the bottom and leave one of these sides completely white where there's no paint on it. But that's fine. It's fine, Madeline. But you can try it again another time, maybe, with the white face. But it'll still work. You're still good, okay? All right, you ready to move on to your other squares, Madeline? Awesome. And Michaela, you're good? All right. Nora, are you good to move on? Or are you not done yet? Okay, cool. All right, Crocker and Archie and Sawyer, you good? All right, okay. Now in our next squares, remember to use lots and lots of water because this won't work as well if your paint is already super thick. So I'm going to add lots and lots of water to my paint. And you remember you can use the lid of your paint palette to add water to it and then just add some color to it. Because remember, we're really painting with water, not the actual paint. The paint's just coloring the water. Okay. All right. So then we're going to just paint our inside square, the one that's just a little smaller than the big one. Okay, and you can go up and down or side to side to paint that square. Okay, so you guys should be able to see how it's already starting to get a little darker from our first layer and now this layer. Okay, and we can set that aside when you're done to let it dry. And then you can get your cube. You guys ready? Not yet. How you doing, Madeline? You good? Awesome. You ready? You ready, Michaela? All right. Nora, are you ready to start on your cube again? Okay. All right. So this time we are just going to paint the side. Okay, just the one side. The same color or whatever you used the first time. Just one of the sides. That's it. Okay, can you see how that side is now darker than all the others? We are also going to paint a little shadow. So our shadow is going to come out behind our cube and a little on the side, like as if our light is coming from this side. It's going to cast a shadow of our cube behind. Okay, so we're painting the side and the shadow. You see that? Okay, then we're going to set that aside to let it dry so we can work on that other one. And mine's still a little wet, so I'm going to kind of help it dry a little bit. How are you doing, Michaela? Good. How about you, Madeline? Sorry, there's someone at my door. I think it's just a package. Okay. So mine's still a little shiny. So while we're waiting, I'm going to show you some of our artists' work. So this artist, I really love his work because he uses mostly one color, but with the use of glazes and layers of washes, he's able to create light and dark and dimension and shadow, and you know that this is a building. And that's all created by just using strategically. Some places he left white, some places he's only gone over once with one glaze. Some he's gone over several times with glazes. So you can layer them to create all these different values. It's really beautiful. And it's not just for square things. You can also use the same effect with anything. So this is really a beautiful painting because this light background is only painted maybe once. And then the person has several washes of color on top. So you guys can study that and look at how they used glazing. Okay. Now for this layer, we're just going to paint our third inside square.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you see that? It's getting a little darker now.
Mm.
Okay, and you can set that aside to dry. And we're gonna get our cube back out again. I'm going to get more water in my paint. Make sure my lots of water in my brush. Okay, and then this time, are you guys ready to move on to the cube?
Yes.
Okay, this time we're just going to go over that shadow that we painted. Just the shadow. All right, and it should look something like this. So you can see with just like a few washes, we created a shape with lots of dimension. It looks 3D. It looks like a real object. Just by using different amounts of glazes. How'd yours turn out, Crocker? All right, awesome. How's yours, Madeline? Great, great job. That was beautiful. How about yours, Michaela? So? I think it looks great. Very good. You guys can experiment with this again if you'd like. But I'm going to let you do your own project now. And I have some project ideas for you. So these mountains are really cool, and they're just layered washes on top of each other. So the background is 1, so they probably painted the whole background. And then this mountain's 2, and then that's 3, and then that's 4, and then that's 5. So create this whole mountain scene with just layers of washes. You can do the same thing with flowers. This is a great way, and see how they left some areas white just to capture the light. And then these petals are really cool. These are the same shapes, just layered over the top of each other. And you can paint several of them at once, so you can let each layer dry. And I really love this one, a little fish jumping out of the water. So you can be super creative and layer your washes to create something really beautiful. Let's see. What are you going to do, Madeline? You can unmute yourself too if you'd like. I think I'm going to make a house with trees and flowers.
Oh, that sounds nice. I think I like it. I want to do that too.
Okay.
Really.
So I might draw it out with my pencil first. I kind of want to see the side of my house so that I can create that dimension on my house, like we did with our cube.
I'm going to just make a square, I guess.
So this is what I drew, Madeline. You can see
Oh, I
it.
do see it.
So I drew a square here. And then I drew 2 lines kind of going back at an angle that are kind of at the same angle, the top and the bottom one. And then I connected those with a line. And then for my roof, I just did like a little triangle for the side and then another rectangle for the top. So that'll be like a little 3D house. Perfect. That looks amazing. You did great. And you can just like connect the top 2 little triangles if you'd like, the little line. Perfect. Okay. And I'm going to do a little tree. Tree next to my house. I can layer some washes in there. And I'm going to do a big flower with like overlapping petals. Like that. I can see what effect it does when they're overlapping. Okay. What are you working on, Nora? What are you working on?
The fish.
A fish, awesome. That's a fun one. What about you boys?
And water because he's trying to catch pebbles.
I can't wait to see it. Okay. So I'm thinking, oh, sorry, my camera's on me and not my paper. I'm thinking that the front side of my house will get the most light. So I'm just gonna leave it white for now. I'm just gonna paint the side of my house. So there's a saying in watercolor, if it's light, leave it white. Because you can't get it back once you paint it. You can't go backwards. I'm gonna paint my tree. And I'm going to leave some white areas on my tree too. You can catch the light. And I'm moving from like one area that doesn't touch anything else to another area that doesn't touch anything, so that my colors don't bleed together. And that's okay if you want that effect. If you want your colors to bleed together, then you can paint them together.
Hey, that looks great, Madeline. That's really good. Good job.
I want to see, Madeline. I didn't see. Perfect. That looks great. And I'm going to use the very tip of my brush to kind of do the little lines on my windows and my doors. Create that shadow. What you working on, Michaela?
Kind of like a village type.
Awesome. Perfect. Oh, look at that, Nora. That's amazing. So beautiful. Now you have your own pet fish.
You can bring the colors.
I'm gonna add some shadows to my tree in my house too, and my little flower. I added a second layer to my tree, and you can already see that it's starting to look a lot like a tree. And I made sure to, on my second layer, not put it everywhere that my first layer was. Just in some places.
Get that landscape. The tree. This is all pretty good painting. Oh, good idea.
Crocker, that looks great. That is so
Awesome, Crocker. So good. And if you ever get those little runs and you don't want it to run, you can just get a paper towel and dab it where it ran. If you don't like that, Crocker. But sometimes it's a cool effect.
And it's gonna be a tree.
Hey Jess, your
Mhm.
video has gone off.
Oh, because someone was trying to call me.
Okay.
Thanks, Kristen.
Good job, Madeline. I like what I'm seeing, sister.
Awesome.
cute. Oh, that's so nasty. Yeah.
He's so neat.
And remember, you guys can use your watercolor pencils if you'd like, for any of your textures from yesterday.
Mhm. Oh, it's so pretty.
Okay, so for tomorrow, we're going to learn more about color and mixing layers of color with our washes. So today we only worked with layering one color. And tomorrow we're going to see what happens when we layer different colors on top of each other. Okay. And then you guys will be like watercolor pros. You'll
Pretty
know
much.
everything you need to know.
Oh, Nora, your sweet, adorable dog. We love him so much. Sweet doggy. Oh my God.
He likes art too, huh?
Yeah, he really
Art
does.
and cuddles.
Like sometimes he'll just be in Nora's lap while she's doing art. So freaking cute. So cute. Okay, you guys have your parents text us pictures of your paintings today, okay?
Madeline, that's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, and Michaela, have your dad send me what you're working on, sweetheart. Oh, Nora. Oh my God, I love that sky. That sky is so good. We'll see you all tomorrow, okay?
You guys all did so great.
Can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Good.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bloopers.